Hello. So I just want to come on here real quick today and kind of go over another vision I had last year in September. I wanted to do it before I forgot to tell you. But last year I had a vision of a girl. She was probably 12 or 13, and she was down in the dirt. Like, she must have been face down, and then she was trying to get up, and I noticed her head was shaved and she had dirt all over her, and she had like a tunic that was all dirty. And she looked up and she looked at me in this vision, and she had like goldish, like amber eyes. And then the vision shifted to a flattened map, and there was a crack, like a diagonal red crack going from Northeast Africa, so Egypt, through the Middle East, all the way up into Russia. So I didn't understand it at the time, and I just started looking. I still don't understand it really, but I'm just kind of correlating it with the Bible, with what I found. So I started looking into the Bible to see if anything lined up, and one of the strongest connections I found was the phrase "daughters of Zion." So it's not talking about like a literal girl. It's talking about how the prophets describe Jerusalem and the people of Israel as a whole. It says God is pictured as a father and Zion is like his daughter. And then Isaiah chapter 3, there's this long section about the daughters of Zion becoming proud and walking around with fancy ornaments and mincing steps. So because of that, the Lord says he will strike the crowns of their heads with scabs and make them bald. So instead of well-set hair, there will be baldness. Instead of perfume, there will be a stench. Instead of fine clothes, sackcloth. And at the end of that chapter, it says the daughter of Zion will sit desolate on the ground, which is interesting. Sitting in the dust or mud was a real cultural sign of deep mourning and humiliation back then. You see the same thing in Lamentations, where the elders of the daughter of Zion sit on the ground with dust on their heads, silent in their grief. So I thought that was a little unusual for someone who's never read the Bible to see that. And I was like, oh, this is actually like a biblical thing. This is something it means like it's symbolic of mourning and judgment. And there was also a later passage in Isaiah 52 that feels almost like the other side of the same picture. It says, "Shake yourself from the dust, arise, sit up, O Jerusalem, loose yourself from the bonds of your neck, O captive daughter of Zion." So the image of someone down in the dirt with a shaved head struggling to stand lines up pretty closely with that whole prophetic pattern of Zion being brought low and then called to rise again. So I know there wasn't like anything with the amber eyes. I don't know what that means, but I know there are some correlations in other visions, like Ezekiel's visions of the throne and the appearance of the figures described with the color of amber, and in Revelation of Jesus's eyes. And then as for the crack in the map, I found that some of the later prophetic chapters, especially Ezekiel 38, talks about a coalition that includes people from the far north. So don't know exactly what that means, but I find it very interesting. I think it's I don't know if it's the Gog Magog thing, how it stood out. So yeah, like I said, I don't really know for sure what all that means, but this happened way before we started doing anything, going into Iran, going into all that stuff. So that's why I find all my stuff very interesting. I'm still learning everything. I'm still trying to read. And if you guys know of any other Bible verses, or if that makes sense to you, I see that I find things later on, now that everything's happened, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like that clicks. Like there's stuff that I had, like burnt offerings. I'm seeing like standing in lots and Daniel, all this stuff that, you know, the 45 days, the marriage supper of the Lamb. Like I have more stuff on that I'm seeing that I just didn't understand at the time, but now I do after more time's gone on and the more stuff I've started like researching and looking into. But anyway, so that's my video for today. If you have anything that you'd like to add, or if you know what it means, or if it's, you know, symbolic of anything else that you know of, let me know. And thanks for watching, you guys. And also, if you could like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. But you guys have a great night. Thank you.